Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news from Monday, October 18th, 2021. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Top stories tonight. Armed masked men strike Co-op Bank Caracou, escaping with an undisclosed amount of cash. Pregnant female hospitalized after mentally ill man attacked her with a chopping instrument. G-Tao anticipating a smooth transfer on completion of Co-op Bank acquisition of CIBC First Caribbean. For what's happening around the globe and in sports, let's go over to Krista Campbell.
It's very good to see you, Blossom, and a special good evening to you, our viewers and listeners. Coming up in our probe around the globe, the police in Haiti blame notorious gang for missionary kidnapping, and heavy rains and landslides kill 19 in India. Sporting fanatics, you will hear more about Jamaica's Sunshine Girls' victory over Trinidad and Tobago's netballers. Over to you, Blossom.
Thank you, Krista. We'll bring you the details of these and other stories right after this.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us with the news in detail. I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. 5 foreign nationals have reportedly been detained in connection with a daylight robbery at the Grenada Cooperative Bank on the sister isle of Caracou today. Chrislina John has the details of that brazen crime, which comes about 2 years after a similar robbery.
Workers at one of the leading financial institutions on the sister isle were the target of gunmen today. GBN received reports of a robbery at the Grenada Cooperative Bank, Caracou, by masked men. There are no reports of injuries. Corporal Cordina Douglas McLean at the Community Relations Department of the RGPF confirmed to GBN that the incident did occur, however, were not willing to divulge further information on the incident as investigations are ongoing.
This time I can only confirm the incident. I'm not in a position to speak to the details surrounding this occurrence, this alleged occurrence, but what we can do is confirm that that had happened.
Our news desk understands shots were fired as the men attempted to make their getaway from the island by boat. 2 years ago, on October 11th, thieves got away with an undisclosed sum of money during an armed robbery at the Grenada Union of Teachers Credit Union branch in Caracou. 2 men were arrested on the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in connection with the robbery. However, the latest bit of information on this matter is that Grenada was seeking the extradition of 2 St. Vincent and the Grenadines nationals accused of staging the robbery at the Grenada Union of Teachers Credit Union in Caracou. When asked about this matter, Corporal Douglas McLean says they are not in a position to provide information on the outcome in this matter. Police is seeking the public's assistance. Anyone with information is asked to contact Police Emergency at 911, Police Hotline at 444-1958, Kariku Police Station at 440-7482 or 7840, the Criminal Investigation Department at 440-3921 or the nearest police station. Investigations are ongoing. Krista John, GBN News.
Meanwhile, reports coming out from Kariku in relation to today's robbery were like from the scenes of a movie. Information indicate that the 5 Trinidadian nationals were caught after a high-speed chase at sea involving the Grenada Coast Guard. The video currently on your screens being shown highlights the chase involving the Coast Guard and the men alleged to have committed the robbery. GBN also secured a photo of the men being escorted to an awaiting Coast Guard vessel to be transported to the mainland. Meanwhile, an official press statement posted on the Facebook page of the Ministry of Kariku and PT Martinique Affairs from the parliamentary representative for the Sister Isles, Kindra Mathurin Stewart, applauded the law enforcement and security forces on the island, whose swift action reportedly ensured that 5 foreign nationals allegedly implicated in the robbery were captured. The statement read, and I quote, "My office has been informed that men identified as all Trinidadian nationals were captured at sea during their attempted getaway from the island after allegedly robbing the Kariku branch of the Grenada Cooperative Bank located at Hillsborough, Kariku." Unquote. It further stated that the people of Kariku and PT Martinique are heartened by the swift and efficient action of the local police and Coast Guard, which reflects the improved local security capacity on the island. The news release also said that the government invested great resources in personnel and equipment in the ongoing efforts at improved security. Meanwhile, for better news for Cooperative Bank, the managing director of the institution, Richard Duncan, says the significance of the acquisition of FCIBC First Caribbean is in being a locally owned and managed financial institution which has developed its capacity to the point of competing and acquiring another entity. Mr. Duncan alludes to a major milestone for Co-op Bank, which has a history with FCIBC First Caribbean's predecessor, Barclays Bank. We get the details in this report.
The Grenada Cooperative Bank has evolved from having Barclays Bank, which is now CIBC First Caribbean, as its bankers, to having the capacity to acquire that financial institution. Managing Director of the Grenada Cooperative Bank, Richard Duncan, says being able to compete with other acquirers and achieve success speaks volumes, notwithstanding its historic and strategic significance.
It means that much more of the country's deposits are under the management and control of Nationals of Grenada. It means that the profits arising from that acquisition stays in Grenada in the hands of Grenadian shareholders of the bank.
Mr. Duncan says during the process of acquisition and even after, Grenada Cooperative Bank will ensure that workers' interests is protected.
Employees of FCIB who, when the opportunity arises, up to seek employment at the bank and when accepted will enjoy such similar accommodation, facilities and benefits. As a consequence of that, we do not see any reasons for concern or industrial unease either at FCIB or at GCBL.
Managing Director-designate Larry Lawrence impresses that the bank now has to file an application to the ECCB, who is the regulator, for approval.
We're comfortable that the Grenada Cooperative Bank has the capacity, the ability to take on the transaction, take on the new levels of business. You know, we have resources in terms of capital adequacy. We have resources in terms of human resource capital. So this is what the ECCB will opine on upon our application as part of this process.
Mr. Lawrence notes that Co-op Bank remains open to infusing external talent and influence. The same will apply to employees of CIBC First Caribbean.
There is always areas for improvement, but rest assured, the capabilities of the electronic banking channels of the Grenada Cooperative Bank is impressive, and we do believe verily that customers of FCIB will enjoy enhanced electronic banking services as part of the transition over to Co-op Bank.
The Grenada Cooperative Bank's management says they do not expect any resistance to the acquisition on a national level. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell welcomed the decision by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited to acquire the banking operations of CIBC First Caribbean in Grenada. The move is part of an initiative by a consortium of leading indigenous banks in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to acquire CIBC First Caribbean operations in Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Managing Director of Grenada Cooperative Bank, Richard Duncan, and Managing Director Designate, Larry Lawrence, briefed the Prime Minister on the impending acquisition ahead of the official announcement. They assured the Prime Minister of the local bank's ability to manage the soon-to-be acquired assets and reiterated the strength of its management and governance structures. The Prime Minister applauded the local bank's participation in this major regional initiative, saying, and I quote, "Today's environment is for innovative and ambitious people," unquote. Meanwhile, the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union is hoping to avoid a repeat of previous instances in relation to the buyovers of financial institutions and ongoing industrial dispute. Earlier this year, workers during the RBTT ACB Bank buyout protested for 5 straight weeks before the issue was resolved. Yet another acquisition of a bank in Grenada was announced last week, and the trade union in the line of duty once again is the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union.
GTAU President St. Andre Lewis says the union will engage the relevant authorities to ensure the necessary regulatory approval is not given until outstanding issues are addressed within CIBC First Caribbean.
In the case of First Caribbean, we have a ruling from the Labour Commissioner on the question of overtime payment, where the bank illegally scheduled workers to work outside of the normal working period according to the Labour Code, and has not paid them and is trying to hide behind something not to pay them, but we will not allow that to happen. There's a question of their standing and collective negotiations, and then there's the aspect of where the bank is trying to come up with some unimaginable way to pay workers their severance pay.
Senator Lewis pointed to an even more recent unresolved issue whereby 2 workers were sent home and were paid incorrectly.
And therefore, it is important for Coop Bank not to finalize any arrangement with First Caribbean because they do not want to inherit a problem like ACB inherited.
The Grenada Cooperative Bank has been earmarked as a member of the consortium of leading indigenous banks in the ECCU to acquire the Grenadian branch and banking operations of CIBC First Caribbean. The union leader says, sadly, they have become experts on such issues, which is a direct indication of unemployment.
You no longer have Scotia, and pretty soon you would no longer have First Caribbean, and you no longer have RBTT. So in a way, as the investors and these shareholders in the banks that are doing the purchases, as their portfolios increase, yes, because they now control the market, it is not good for the employment status in the country.
He says it is unfortunate that the union learned of the buyover on the same day as the announcement, and they now await the engagement on the outstanding issues. According to a release from Coop Bank, it is committed to recruiting Grenadian staff of CIBC First Caribbean as required to maintain and even improve the level and quality of service that CIBC First Caribbean customers are accustomed to. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
This is the GBN News at 7. Still to come, scores of Grenadians line the street to pay respect to the late Peter Bain BEM. Stay with us.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Cards Ready Cash, ready when you are. There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Across Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, Flow has been the leading telecommunications provider for decades. As we continue to work for you, we are modernizing our fixed network and transitioning all customers to our latest technology. By the end of 2021, the new network offers customers faster speeds, better quality, and a more reliable service experience with faster fault detection and repair time. Upgrading to the new network is free. Just visit any of our retail outlets. Look out for sales agents in your community. Call our virtual store at 444-3569 or send us a text via WhatsApp at 407-3569. Remember, as we transition to our new network, we are simultaneously shutting down our older network. To avoid service interruption, arrange to make your move to the new network as soon as possible. Flow, committed to connecting our communities.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Let's get tough on breeder larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all farmers, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop breeder larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report breeder larceny, call 300.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank. Republic Bank remains committed to providing all its valued customers with high quality and personalized service in a safe and comfortable environment. In order to maintain COVID-19 protocols while serving you, it has become necessary to arrange an appointment with your relationship officer or the customer service representative at your branch for the following products and services: loans, overdrafts, credit cards, new accounts to include savings, checking, certificate of deposit, and foreign currency, reactivation of dormant accounts, and private banking for existing customers only. You may also log on to our website, complete the application form for the service required, and submit via email to your specific branch. Requests for appointment can also be emailed to customerservice@republicgrenada.com or via private message on our Facebook page. For private banking service, kindly contact your specific branch via telephone. We look forward to welcoming you.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. One pregnant woman was a victim of unprovoked violence over the weekend. The victim is presently warded at the General Hospital in stable condition.
I can say is that over this past weekend, we have recorded several breaches, both in relation to the emergency powers regulation and the criminal laws of our country. Right? Sunday, we had a chopping incident involving a 28-year-old pregnant woman and a mentally challenged relative. That occurred at Willis, St. George, and the woman who received several chop wounds about her body, she is presently warded at the General Hospital in a stable condition. And the accused person is at Monday Mental Hospital.
Also over the weekend, police arrested and charged a 34-year-old of Subi, St. Andrew, in connection with a chopping incident involving a 16-year-old.
Also, over the weekend, we had another stabbing at Subi's in St. Andrew, and this time it involved a 16-year-old resident and a 34-year-old. So the 34-year-old is Montgomery Nelson of the same address, Subi's, and he was charged for grievous harm. He was brought before the Granville Magistrates Court this morning and granted bail in the amount of $15,000 with 2 sureties.
That was Cordelia Douglas McLean of the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Still on police news, the police have questioned several people in relation to last Wednesday's rape and robbery of a 73-year-old St. Andrew resident. Still traumatized by the incident, relatives are seeking justice for their elderly relative.
While family members continue to call for justice for the 73-year-old relative who has been robbed and raped, police say they are inching closer to catching up with the culprit. Corporal Cordelia Douglas McLean, attached to the Community Relations Department, provided this latest update.
I can say at this time is that several persons were detained and questioned, and we are still very actively involved in that investigation. And once anyone is arrested or charged, we will update members of the public accordingly, hoping for outcome a positive outcome in this not too distant future.
The victim, who lived alone in the St. Andrew area, was attacked at around 3 a.m. by a man she said was wearing a dark-colored clothing, gloves, face and head coverings. The unsuspecting elderly woman was not only robbed of her money, phone and groceries, but also her dignity. According to a relative who spoke with GBN, says the 73-year-old has constant nightmares and is finding it difficult to sleep in her home. Neighbors came to her rescue of providing accommodation for her until the family put other security measures in place for her safety. Police also revealed that one man has been detained following the attack on 83-year-old Neville Alexander of Mount Horn, St. Andrew, who said he was attacked by 2 young men on his farm.
And to that investigation, I'm sure we all remember that a senior citizen was attacked in his farmlands not too long ago. And we are pleased to report that one of the accused, Valin Murray, a 19-year-old resident of Mount Horn, he was arrested and charged on the weekend for causing harm, and he was granted bail and is scheduled to appear in court on December 7th, 2021. Notwithstanding the fact that he's the only person arrested so far, we wish to reassure members of the public and the complainants in this regard that our investigations are still ongoing.
The officer says they are not leaving any stones unturned in this matter as they seek to bring the other perpetrator to justice. Investigation into the rape of 84-year-old Margaret Noel 2 years ago remain under investigation, as well as the recent acts of vandalism in her home. Krista John, GBN News.
A visionary leader, dedicated, humble, and generous. Those are just some of the words used to describe cultural icon, the late Peter Bain BEM. Residents of the big parish especially and surrounding areas turned out in droves to witness and pay tribute to a legend who has greatly impacted culture, sports, and business in Grenada. Gerard Joseph has that story.
His sister, Yolam Bain Hosford, in delivering the eulogy, attributed her brother Peter Bain's love for carnival and pageantry, evolved from his youthful days with his 12 siblings and friends. This as dozens lined the boundary of the Grambra Cemetery, while close family, friends and band members said goodbye to an icon. In 1993, being Horsford noted was the birth of Rainbow City Mass Promoters, which became many years of selfless contributions to Grenada's culture, especially in the parish of St. Andrew.
He was instrumental in having the first ever St. Andrews Carnival Development Office built at the quarry on Chapel Road in Grenville. As a result, the Kiddies Carnival show was revived. The Shakespeare Mass from the sister Isle of Carriacou and the Moko Jumbies from Trinidad were brought in to enhance the carnival product.
Executive member of the Morris Bishop and October Martyrs Foundation, Dr. Terence Marichaud, recalled the many selfless contributions the late Peter Bain made to recognizing October 19th, even up to his death. Dr. Marichaud spoke to the irony of his burial being on the day before October 19th.
Even on his sick bed, he was telling his beloved wife, Nola, that even if it was just a wreath, she had to lay on the wall because he recognized the restrictions in these COVID times, that she should do it and go and pay tribute as we have done all along. Such was the character and the profound nature of this outstanding individual who was more concerned about others than his own self. And so we remember and pay tribute today to his father, Norris Bain, Norris Bishop, and all of those who lost their lives on October the 19th.
The tribute included the impact Rainbow City Mass Promoters via its band leader have had on Carnival in Grenville, as well as on the sister Isle of Carriacou and within the Grenada Mass Band Association.
I've heard of dead streets made of gold. And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days are here on you, there's a place out there for life.
CEO of the Spice Mass Corporation, Kelvin Jacob, in paying tribute to the cultural icon, highlighted Peter Bain's last cooperation with the SMC.
2 weeks before he became ill, he had a conversation with us about how we can work together to get Spice Mass back in 2022.
He was not only a man of culture but of sports during his days at the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School.
In my opinion, Peter Watt was one of the best athletes that passed through SAS. We both represented SAS at Intercol every year of the 5 years we were at the institution. In the first 3 years, I ran all sprints and then later middle distance, while Peter did just about all field events.
Peter Bain's burial was indeed a somber day for the residents of Granborough and St. Andrew, as many pledged to ensure his legacy lives on. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Once again, the management and staff of the Grenada Broadcasting Network would like to extend condolences to all those who would mourn the passing of Peter Bain. And now it's time to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
This is the moment a huge water spout was captured on camera by a resident of Cienfuegos, Cuba on Saturday, October 16th. The phenomenon lasted for about 10 minutes according to the country's meteorological agency. Although water spouts can pose a danger in some circumstances, no damage was reported. We thank our eyesore reporter for this submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
And still ahead, GUT President cautions Prime Minister on any attempt to mandate teachers to take a COVID-19 vaccine. More news is next.
continue breastfeeding after an emergency or disaster. Breast milk provides all the nutrients your baby needs for the first 6 months of life. Breastfeeding is safest for babies at a time when water may be limited and unsafe. No need to worry about mixing formula. Breast is best. Forget the rest. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from PAHO.
Life's moving moments don't always work as planned. That emotional hug during the graduation ceremony, sudden sightings of old schoolmates during a shopping trip, things can go a little off track quickly. With 15-way voice and video calls, group chats with up to 1,000 persons, and free messaging, Bib helps you share the happiness and be prepared whenever life hits. Keep the good times going. Share it on Bib. Bib, more than just a messaging app. Download Bib today.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Showtime shop at Quartz. We got all the things you want. So many ways to shop. You can pick up curbside. It's showtime shop at Quartz. All the appliances, electronics, and furniture you like. Showtime. Showtime. We got it. Just what you need. Yeah, Quartz got it.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, Flow has been the leading telecommunications provider for decades. As we continue to work for you, we are modernizing our fixed network and transitioning all customers to our latest technology. By the end of 2021, the new network offers customers faster speeds, better quality, and a more reliable service experience with faster fault detection and repair time. Upgrading to the new network is free. Just visit any of our retail outlets. Look out for sales agents in your community Call our virtual store at 444-3569 or send us a text via WhatsApp at 407-3569. Remember, as we transition to our new network, we are simultaneously shutting down our older network. To avoid service interruption, arrange to make your move to the new network as soon as possible. Flow, committed to connecting our communities.
Welcome back. President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, warns Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell to tread carefully on the issue of mandatory vaccination for COVID-19. This as government this week charts the way forward toward the reopening of schools throughout the island.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, is warning government against any possible draconian measures to force its members to take the COVID-19 vaccines.
I think he should tread cautiously and be wise. Yes, he might be pressured. We don't know from where. Probably the government of Grenada. We don't know if it's locally, regionally, and internationally. And he have a lot of things to deal with. But let wisdom prevail. And don't go down that road of forcing vaccination upon teachers and upon other workers of this country. Convince them, educate them, and let them make a matter of choice.
Government is presently discussing the reopening of schools as COVID cases continue to diminish. However, government made it clear that vaccination is seen as one of the possible measures to be considered towards the resumption of schools. In a recent message to Grenada, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell spoke about the important role of vaccination in the reopening of schools.
The vaccination rate, unfortunately, among teachers and other personnel in the education sector is abysmal. The uptake of Pfizer vaccine, which is administered to children for 12 and above, is also low at this point. Against this backdrop, it is difficult for government to announce at this time the reopening of schools.
Bartholomew is appealing to the Prime Minister to step with caution on the issue of vaccination. In August, the GUT stated its stance on COVID-19 and mandatory vaccination.
We encourage teachers to educate themselves about the COVID-19 vaccine and to follow the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. And that vaccination is a matter of choice, that teachers own free will. Let me just go forward. We made it clear that we are not against vaccination, but it must be a matter of choice. It may be a matter of choice. All right? What the Grenada Union of Teachers is totally against is mandatory vaccination.
Bartholomew says he wouldn't like the history of Prime Minister Mitchell as a long-standing politician to end with a bitter taste.
Prime Minister of Grenada and the government of Grenada, they didn't mandate in terms of elections. They didn't mandate in terms of to force people to vote for them. They didn't mandate in terms of they have 15 seats. And what did they do? They convinced the citizens of Grenada, this country, to vote for them. So if you could convince people to vote for you and you got 15 seats, what is in you now, directly now, that you can convince the nation, educate and convince your people?
Bartholomew says teachers are most happy in the classrooms, but believes that looking at a phased approach towards January of 2022 may be the safest at this time for the resumption of face-to-face teaching and learning. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Grenada joined the rest of the world last Friday on the occasion of World Food Day, held under the theme, Our Actions, Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, A Better Environment, and A Better Life. This year, however, marks the first virtual celebration. Christina John gives us a look at what took place.
Minister for Agriculture Peter David, during his remarks on World Food Day, noted that the best-made plans without proper implementation are of no value. He spoke on government's plan towards achieving a positive outcome of increased food production. Minister David spoke on the improvement of the feeder roads to farmlands and working along with Grenada Food and Nutrition Council as strategies.
Government has approved a 10-year rehabilitation plan for the Granbury Estate. An initial sum of around 500,000 EC dollars will be invested by the end of 2021, and an equivalent sum will be allocated to this initiative in 2022. This project will increase the availability of food, therefore improving our food security. In addition to Granbra, government continues to work with a private sector investor to develop the Bellevue estate into a profitable economic unit that creates sustainable livelihoods for persons in a rural community, generates increased levels of foreign exchange from the export of economic crops, and bolsters our food security through the expansion of staple crops.
He is hopeful that at the COP summit there will be allowances for small island developing states. FAO's representative Juan Shez, based in Barbados, highlighted this year's theme, noting that to achieve these 4 pillars, biodiversity must be preserved, address and mitigate by the impact of the climate crisis, and produce the food needed for sustainability.
Global food security challenges have probably not been so severe for years as it has been in the last ones. However, on a more positive note, in the past year, we have seen the resilience and power within all of us. Our DG, at his address this morning, gave a special appreciation to members for their support and reflected that learning and working together is the future that he wants to continue to build in our organization.
Minister for Fisheries, Yolande Bain Hosford, says without a structured food security plan, the country can head to doom. She added that it is critical at this juncture that Grenada model our food security strategy to be in sync with FAO's strategic framework. This agenda is factored into the National Sustainable Development Plan 2035, which is linked to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 1, to eradicate poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, and SDG 10, reduced inequalities.
It is known that without a clearly structured food security plan and infrastructure, a country can descend into severe hunger and nutritional challenges. Therefore, it is imperative that institutions such as education, health, agriculture, fisheries, and the like collaborate and ensure that the food security apparatus of the state is robust and well managed. FAO has developed a strategic framework that spans the next 10 years, which seeks to support the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development through the transformation to more efficient, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable agri-food systems for better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, leaving no one behind.
Christina John, GBN News.
Stay with us. The weather is up next, followed by sports and a look at regional and international happenings.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Hills and Valley Pharmacy offers both wholesale and retail pharmaceutical and over-the-counter products. We have the most competitive and affordable prices. We are the agents for Vit Plus multivitamin for healthy everyday lifestyle and Sonatrogen powder. Hills and Valley Pharmacy supplies the best quality, name brand clinical products such as Rescue Oil, Bio Oil, Neutrogena, Aveeno, and Clarisil. We offer the most convenient opening hours. Our telephone numbers are 435-6904 or 6903. Remember, at Hills and Valley Pharmacy, your health is our business. We care.
Now open, Hills and Valley Medicare Center, your one-stop for medical supplies, massage therapy, physiotherapy, and an in-house physician. At Hills and Valley, your health is our business.
Quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Let's take a look now at what the weather is looking like tonight. Minimum temperature 25 degrees Celsius. The weather will be partly cloudy to cloudy with some brief to widely scattered showers. Winds will be easterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Seas will be slight to moderate with waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. Tides will be low at 9:15 p.m. and high at 3:30 a.m. There are no warnings in place. On Tuesday, sunrise will be at 5:58 a.m., sunset 5:48 p.m. Partly cloudy to overcast and breezy conditions are expected with some light to moderate brief to scattered showers, which may be heavy at times and accompanied by lightning and thunder. Looking ahead to Wednesday, sunrise 5:58 a.m., sunset 5:47 p.m. Generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at times with the possible isolated showers, increasing in cloudiness. On Thursday, sunrise will be 5:58 a.m., sunset 5:47 p.m. Partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with some brief to widely scattered showers and possible lightning and thunder, improving during the evening. And that's it for tonight's weather report and forecast. Stay tuned. Sports is next.
Sporting fanatics, welcome to our sports roundup. We are starting off on the netball court where Sunshine Girls head coach Connie Francis is expecting a much better performance from her shooters when they play Trinidad and Tobago in the second game of their series at the National Indoor Sports Center on Tuesday. Jamaica demolished their Caribbean rivals 71-22 on Saturday night, with Fowler leading the way with 43 goals. Defensively, Jamaica was stifling, limiting their opponents to only 6 second-half goals in a comprehensive victory. However, Francis was not pleased with certain elements of the Jamaican execution. Francis also believes the team needs to tighten up defensively. She said she plans to tackle those areas of concern before the next game on Tuesday, October 19th. It's time to pick up the bat and ball. Azam's half-century for Pakistan helped condemn West Indies to a 7-wicket loss in their first warm-up match in Dubai on Monday. Azam and Zaman, who scored a quick-fire 46 not out, broke the back of Pakistan's chase of the 130-7 set by the West Indies. There was a brief glimmer of hope for the West Indies when Walsh broke the partnership when he got the Pakistan captain out-stumped for an even 50 from 41 balls. However, any hopes of a rally from the West Indies were dashed when Zaman and Malik took Pakistan to 131-3 midway through the 16th over when Zaman smashed Walsh for 6. Meanwhile, Kieron Pollard, who hit 5 fours in the final over, took the West Indies to 130-7, a score that proved woefully inadequate. Moving on to the football field, the day Jamaica created history and qualified for the 2019 FIFA Women's Cup, the axis of the women's game in CONCACAF shifted in a seismic way. Jamaica's Reggae Girls' qualification to France 2019 signified in part an unprecedented growth and development leap for the Caribbean. Importantly, too, the fairy tale success story was a monumental historical proportion as the island became the first from the region to be catapulted into the stratosphere of the global game and its greatest stage to the World Cup. On October 17, 2018, at the CONCACAF Women's Championship, Jamaica achieved the unthinkable. In the third-place match, the girls defeated Panama in an epic match which ended 2-2 after regulation and extra time. And the two with the sense of the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France in scope had to be separated by the dreaded penalties. As it turned out, Jamaica triumphed 4-2, and the rest, as they say, is history. That's our sports roundup for now. Stay with us for global developments. Welcome to our probe around the globe. Tonight we commence in the Northern Hemisphere, where police in Haiti say a notorious gang is behind the abduction of foreign Christian missionaries and their family members. It's the latest in a wave of kidnappings which have been dramatically since the assassination of the president in July. More in this report.
Heavy clouds loom over the Christian Aid Ministry's headquarters in the U.S. state of Ohio. The missionary group has been operating in Haiti for decades, with a 9-month break 2 years ago following a previous spate of gang violence. The organization released the following statement: "We are seeking God's direction for a resolution, and authorities are seeking ways to help." It continues, "The group of 16 U.S. citizens and 1 Canadian citizen includes 5 men, 7 women, and 5 children." In the Haitian capital, Port-au-Prince, the news of yet another mass kidnapping comes as no surprise. Statistics indicate that more than 380 people have been abducted in the first 8 months of this year alone. There's been a massive upsurge in kidnappings since the assassination of the country's president in July this year, removing the last vestige of a functioning central government. Haitian police say an armed criminal gang known as 400 Mawazo was responsible for the abduction. loosely translated as 400 inexperienced men. It's said to be responsible for some 80% of the kidnappings this year. Christian Aid Ministries in Holmes County, Ohio, nothing can be done apart from to wait and pray. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Over in St. Lucia, the Labor Department has engaged with legal experts to address an emerging trend. Private sector bosses are firing employees who refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine. The Labor Commissioner explained the practice may not be unlawful. The government has resisted imposing vaccine mandates, but that has not deterred employers from reworking workplace policy to require workers to take the jab or risk termination.
Workplace vaccine mandates is steadily being transposed in the fine print for job requirements throughout the private sector. Telecoms provider Digicel, local manufacturer Northern American Assemblies, and fast food giant KFC, among other local companies, now require all employees to take the COVID-19 vaccine or risk losing their jobs. The emerging workplace vaccine mandate has raised legal questions. However, according to Labor Commissioner Cornelia Jean-Baptiste, St. Lucia's labor code does not provide the clear-cut answers.
Because the COVID-19 pandemic is a public health issue, the Department of Labor has been advised that an employer may have a right to implement COVID-19 vaccination requirements in the workplace, and the employer may also have the right to institute disciplinary action against employees who refuse to follow these health and safety requirements because it is a public health issue. But the Labor Act is mostly silent on this issue.
Pre-pandemic occupational health and safety guidance, however, is legislated. Employers are legally required to ensure a healthy and secure working environment is maintained for all employees at all times. Private sector bosses do not want a repeat of the financially debilitating disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. In September, St. Lucia's Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture conducted a workplace vaccination survey. An overwhelming 65% of the decision makers, representing 117 local companies, favor workplace vaccine policy for its employees. With no legal impediments to prevent employers from firing staff for not getting vaccinated, private sector workers who don't get vaxxed can get axed. According to the Labor Commissioner, the government has engaged legal minds to respond to the emerging trend. Meanwhile, more than a dozen low-income workers from one manufacturing plant were sent packing for failing to comply with a company-issued vaccine policy. Rihani Isidore, NBC Prime.
In international developments, at least 19 people were killed a day after torrential rains pounded villages and flooded roads in the southern Indian state of Kerala. Officials said rescuers recovered the bodies in two of the worst-hit districts where heavy downpours triggered massive landslides. The National Disaster Response Force and the Indian Army deployed teams to help with the rescue efforts as many people are still missing.
Streets turned into rivers. Entire hillsides appearing to melt under heavy rain. Such heavy rainfall in the Indian state of Kerala was unexpected and has claimed several lives. Soldiers have been flown in to help with rescue efforts. This team is trying to reach others trapped beneath shifting mud, while this fruits and vegetables vendor does what little he can to save his business. The monsoon season ended in September, and after months of heavy storms, locals were not expecting another one, bringing such wet conditions. Farmers here rely on rains to produce crops, but too much creates problems like waterborne diseases. While the cleanup and rescue work goes on, the waters are slowly starting to recede. Leah Harding, Al Jazeera.
That's it for our probe around the globe. Blossom is up next with a review of our main points.
Looking back at what made the news, 5 Trinidadian nationals detained in connection to today's brazen robbery of Co-op Bank in Carriacou. Pregnant female hospitalized after mentally ill man attacked her with a chopping instrument. Police say they are close to a breakthrough in the St. Andrew rape and robbery case. Scores of Grenadians lined the street to pay respect to the late Peter Bain BEM. GUT President cautions Prime Minister Mitchell on any attempt to mandate teachers to take COVID-19 vaccine. In regional news, police in Haiti blame notorious gang for missionary kidnapping. Internationally, heavy rains and landslides kill 19 in India. In sports, Jamaica's Sunshine Girls' victory over Trinidad and Tobago's netballers. And that brings us to the end of the GBN Nightly News for Monday, October 18th, 2021. If you missed any part of the newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll see you next time.